Le sommet international de l'éducation du futur réunit une soixantaine de conférenciers du monde entier. Des pionniers et des innovateurs issus du monde de l'éducation, bien évidemment, mais également des êtres inspirants, issus des chemins de sagesse ou des chemins d'apprentissage et de créativité dans différents domaines. Les arts, les sciences, l'économie, le lien avec la nature, le sport, etc. Des expériences et des chemins de vie qui sont un formidable enrichissement pour le monde de l'éducation. Le professionnalisme des traductions, en simultané, et l'incroyable richesse de toutes ces conférences offrent un horizon de point de vue vaste et varié, très complet, qui en font au final une véritable formation professionnelle pour les enseignants, les éducateurs et tous les professionnels de l'éducation, mais également une formation à la parentalité consciente et une formation individuelle à la vie consciente. Face à toute cette richesse et aux divers retours, nous avons décidé d'offrir toutes ces conférences à tous, partout dans le monde, en français et en anglais, quelquefois en allemand et en espagnol. Découvrez la vision d'acteurs audacieux et influents du changement, vers un monde éthique, solidaire, généreux et profondément respectueux de tous, des cultures, des peuples, des règnes et de la planète. Un incroyable panel de conférences, couvrant toutes les dimensions de l'éducation, pour un futur ayant du sens, une humanité épanouie et une terre qui respire. Une chose est sûre, votre vie, et à travers vous, celle des enfants, ne sera plus la même après avoir écouté toutes ces conférences. Pour avancer, nous avons besoin de vous, nous avons besoin de votre générosité solidaire. L'organisation du sommet et l'édition des conférences ont nécessité des milliers d'heures de travail et nécessitent encore beaucoup de temps et d'investissement. Nous faisons appel aux dons libres et spontanés pour compléter le financement du sommet et, si possible, continuer à l'enrichir de nouvelles conférences. Votre soutien est vraiment précieux et vital pour aller jusqu'au bout de cette aventure extraordinaire. Merci.
So I'm going to talk or to present how I came to create this particular this particular approach, move. I was 20 years old and I started my career as a dancer in Paris. And I was asked to replace someone where it was some corporal expression. I had to replace a teacher. I replaced that person on the spot, and it was the beginning of my adventure. Through the children, I developed my own life, my dancing, my own creativity, and I was inspired by all the things the children sent back to me. And then afterwards, for about 10 years, when I had my dance school, I did also some research through the free expression of your free body expression, and also the freedom of the dances. And this has enabled me out of the codes that existed in those days. And then afterwards I discovered and I continued following this pathway. And then I met Abel, and when I met him, there was here I started to integrate. I was fully busy. My interior, the spiritual interior, and I wanted to contribute my thoughts. I wanted to contribute something to the world, being still very young. And then afterwards, I was contacted by the house of of the children, and uh, for me it was uh, also very important to get in touch with the children, especially with us from kindergarten already, and that's where I started. And there I had some extraordinary results. Really, a very positive feedback in the directors of the kindergarten. They were very happy. That's what they wanted because they got along much better with the children after. So I developed this method more and more, and the results were extraordinary. And it was experimental. I was still looking for a lot of things. Also, was dealing with hyperactive children, and so also. It was also beneficial for the older children in the classroom, so also autistic children, and therefore it was a magnificent adventure. And I took it further. I started to travel and to develop this method I created uh, for not only for children but also for adults. But for me, uh, the children are fundamental. Now, of course, there's the dance of yourself, of the human being. But of course, the children will create a new earth, and they are really the seed of the future. So, and for some years now, uh, there was I updated all this, and which I'm now transmitting to the others. Now, to continue talking about this method, so I base myself on nature. Because for me, the first dance, as you mentioned, is the dance of creativity, the dance coming from nature, that is due to the fact that we can connect it to the Mother Earth, to the cosmos, to the sky. So it's this connection you can have with what lives. And giving this to the children, especially with what is happening for the planets, is something essential, fundamental, and it has to be going through the body, of course. There are a lot of media, of course, on dance. For me, at least in my case, it is a fundamental element because our body is our first earth. Living in your body is being incarnated on earth, and as we're being incarnated, having this body, I can connect to nature, to the living through the five senses, but also the sixth sense. And that's what I'm trying to develop the touching, feeling, smelling, hearing, seeing, but also the sixth sense, which is also very important. And that is really the basis of this method. So, linking up to the nature, to what is living, and considering the child as a global human being, not only physically as in the Western world, where it's just matter. But here, it is a global being with a uh, body full of energy. And if you can transmit to children all these different dimensions, which he will enable him to connect to the rest of his body, that was really the basis of this method. And of course, with eMove, we're going to develop creativity, but of course, it's going to take inspiration of nature. It's really a source of inspiration linked also to the five senses, to the animal world, plants, etc., and how the child will be able to feel connected to this nature and being part and parcel of this nature. And it is, of course, a full stakeholder, and that is a fundamental element. Also, we consider children in the move as a little seed. A seed, this little seed has to be nourished, of course, has to be fed. And and the more this will be done at an early age, and through dancing and through moving, it will be you will be able to grow in full harmony, and whilst growing, it will become the adult of tomorrow, of course. So, with these value respectful of nature, of himself, of the others, with all these values, we will be able to transmit everything. Because children, especially the smaller children, they have the body language, which also is very important. It's not only verbal communication, and uh, and the more you use it, the more it will be integrated in the body of a child. It will be anchored into the child. And we will also develop with all this the e-move, the creativity. It's a gift. For me, I consider this as a gift of nature. And this gift, as a matter of fact, will see to it that the child will develop its creativity also in order to offer it to the earth, to nature, to the elements. So can you still hear me? Yes? Okay then. Thank you. So this gift, when the child will start dancing, he will feel it. And I'm going to ask you also, and so that you can feel this experiment. So you are the child, and then you will feel how it really works. Also, knowing the following, for me, uh, dancing is not only a technique, it's an art of living with all the dimensions connected to it, the connections to life, and it will enable the child to connect to his soul. And when doing so, the child will be linked to his interior, and the interior, we adults have the same thing, and we can also do this. But the more the child will be fed, the more the interior child will be present, and also for the adults, it will be, well, it will continue to have this connection. And the interior child, it's what we have inside us, and to enchant the world, and to create and to connect to what is true, what is good. So that is the general spirit which I try to do through my education. So, as a matter, this transmission is based on nature, but also on different traditions, universal traditions, which respect nature, the what is alive, and also linked to the divine, to the cosmos. So it's basing myself on these different traditions, the different dimensions, the different populations of the earth, and also basing myself upon what the child is composed of, what he will best develop with his body. And one of the first bases is, of course, what we call the coordination. What is this? the instinctive coordination. Well, as a matter of fact, it is something I learned from a person I knew, and it's based on the fact that the small child, when he starts growing, he will go through different coordinations, like the first coordination is first the child is going to not walking, is going to crawl, is going to try and organize a certain coordination. So it makes us think of a snake, the way a snake moves, and progressively is going to, let's say, stand on four legs. And after, and then it will develop other instinctive coordinations. Not going to enter in all the details, of course, but you see the whole itinerary. And then from crawling to being on four legs, then it will be standing up. So that is an important stage he's going through. So he's going from the earth, is going to stand up, will move on vertically. It will be demanding a lot of force, a lot of strength to find the necessary strength to stand up. And it is this is it takes a lot of effort to stand up, but once in this position, what is happening? Then he, afterwards, and in this particular position, he will start walking. But before walking, you have to find a balance between left and right. You see little children. They rock around, and then finally they find a balance, and from unstable to stable, and then they're going to dare do things in the nature. They're going to develop so walking the different rhythms, going to start walking and then making all kinds of movement with his body, and afterwards simply dancing. So that is so the coordination is such that the child will progressively discover that the world is going to develop all this with his own when starting to dance. So it's instinctive. It is really fundamental. And I was also told that some children take it in different phases. For first, on two legs, 2 feet, and sometimes a child will have problems in his life because he didn't develop sufficiently these different instinctive coordinations. So once again, this is a fundamental phase in life, and after after these well, I'll further develop all these instinctive coordination through linked to the elements in nature. So the child will be doing exercises, but also in an imaginary world, and all this these symbols can be found again in nature, and you will find this in the different rains, vegetal rain, animal rain, and also within the five elements it can be found. So, as a matter of fact, the elements. So to also discover water, the earth, the air, etc. So the five elements of nature are very important for the child, and also important for our body. We are made up of these five elements, but these five elements are also principles with qualities, also principles that link us to other forms. And this principle with its qualities will be used permanently. When we talk about the earth, we talk about the roots, the anchorage, because of course, when I talk about water, I'm going to talk about the quality of the fluidity of the different senses. When I talk about fire, it is also an element that will give us some dynamism, a waking up, a thrust, a kind of momentum. It's something that warms you up, that gives light. It illuminates. So all these qualities will be developed, and the child will integrate all this as well. The air, as of course, you go from something very vast to something really volatile, something light. The air is the lightness, its elevation, like. Uh, you become much lighter. You can dream. You can do a lot of things in the air. Also, freedom. So all these are intrinsic qualities of the elements, and which we would be able to integrate not only mentally but also in the body and in your life, and then also the earth, which is really very oh, sorry, the ether. It's the energy which we have. So also encompassing all the other elements. It's the energy within us. So all these elements will make up this little child. And he, of course, is also part and parcel of this creation. And by activating within us these five elements, it is linked to what is alive, to the creation. It's a learning process is going through. You will also learn to live with these five elements, to acquire things. And these elements can bring quality to him, but also you can support him on his journey. And when he has emotions, for instance, he will be able to ask help to the fire if he wants some dynamism, if he wants joy, but he has things he no longer wants. He will also change this into light. And we have to see to it that these five elements are part of his or her life. That's what we learn through the different elements. There's also another thing I wanted to tell you. In order to have access to all this, in order to be able to integrate all this, the child should feel confident. And in order to feel confident, the child needs to feel that he is in a kind of little in a little egg where he is protected. It is something kind of cocooning, and it is something that will be created with all the children that are there. So together with the person who is in front of them, and very often what I'm doing with the children is a first circle where we share, where the child will say and express freely what he feels that is inside him, just what telling us what he feels inside it. In this first circle, he will be talking with his heart and talking about what's inside of him, and he will also be talking to the elements as he would be talking to brothers and sisters. And so there's the Indian, it's a lot of done by Indian mothers. It's feeling that he's part of a large, big family. And the earth is his mother, the sky is his father, water is his sister. Wind is also a brother, and fire is his brother, and therefore it's a huge family where in which he feels well, comfortable. Also, when I did my journey when I was in Japan, and I started to talk to my sister, the moon, all the. So it was for me a revelation. So there were a lot of fears in me before, but I was able to get rid of this because here I felt that I was part of this huge family of the earth, of the sky, of the air, of all these elements. So that is really important to create this cocoon, create this link, uh, opening up to others, and it will help the child to feel comfortable when dancing, to use his body. He's not only going to dance, but he's also through the an awareness will be able to do what he wants to do, and he will be connecting his body with his soul. So it's something global. And there he might also make some changes to his life. But because, of course, then there will come a time where we'll have to share, we'll have to draw what I call a small print with pencils, whatever, where you can draw some lines, some colors, so he can draw whatever he wants to draw. And he can also express this through dancing. It's also a way of anchoring all his experiences, to integrate all this, and finally to be able to share this, to put words to it through dancing, and where the child is not being judged or whatever. So where he is an area and a surrounding of love, because all the things that we can be felt and lived through the channel of dancing, and also in his imaginary world, the child will develop. Also, the child will be able to free the anxiety he might have, the fears he have through water. Just the child will also be able to put it to paper. So the things he had in him for quite some time. So it's something sacred. And this will enable the child to develop. So a child is like a plant. It moves, and you have to give water to the plant, of course, so that it can grow in full harmony. The child is continuously growing, is evolving constantly, and that's why we have to give him what is the very best, but also listening to the child, what we can learn from him, what he needs. That's also the basis for a child. So I wanted to tell you all this. It's just more than words. So we're going to experiment something. So because I'm not that I can see you move, at least, because then I don't have the impression only talking to you. My PC, of course, I know you're all there. And if, of course, if there are already questions before coming to our exercise, but then we're going to meet the five elements. That's what I'm going to suggest. Chantal is there as well. Thank you. And before coming to this experiment, we really play the game, consult what is in you in your interior, and and then also I will answer all your questions, of course. Someone is reacting already.
Il y a Fabienne, il y a Thierry qui demande
Yes,
comment
Thierry
devenir
is
coach en
asking,
formation IMOVE et devenir praticien sans avoir une expérience personnelle ou
can we
professionnelle avec la danse.
become a practitioner without having this personal experience? Yes, of course. It's Thierry, Thierry, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, yes. Before to be a professional in education, move. It's a method that goes through the body. But of course, the method of body, I'm transmitting it at present in the academy and also to people who follow the first two cycles of teaching because w- we're going through the different stages of dancing with the elements, the chakra, etc. And once you've gone for yourself through all these elements, we will be able to transmit them either to adults or to children. Because it's really important for me to have known the experience and so that I could integrate it. Because if not, it might be some instruments you have to apply, and which is not the purpose, of course. So it's important to have it in you as well. So I hope I answered your question of the question of Thierry. And of course, I'm going to give you all the keys so that you can transmit them also
Il travaille également
to
sur
the people.
l'éducation nationale.
You're also working with national education? No, no. Because the problem in France is that national education board is not sufficiently open to this kind of methods, and there are some people who are attending, of course, some people who are part of national education, but it is not yet in the curricula. It's perhaps tomorrow, but I have people went to the Steiner school and also who are in the world of education, and they follow to this training so that they can also transmit it to the children. But it is really important to further develop this, but we're not yet in the school of the future with national education. So the part of the body, the part of dancing, of creativity, also transmitting all this, but national education is still far away from it.
Fabienne, ça fait deux,
Fabienne,
trois personnes
the two or
qui
three
ont l'impression que c'est pas
people
encore
who have
connu
the
la biodanza, c'est profond.
uh, so the fundamental difference better with Violanza is that also move for the children is based on the principle of life energy. It's a dance of energy. So we linked it to the energy of life. We're going to use this. It's really being connected to the energy of life. And for this, of course, I'm using methods that coming from Tai Chi, martial arts, and that are such that first we're going to start by feeling what is this being linked or linking up to this energy. And first we have to work on the interior, and then we relate to the outside world. But first, we have to do it with your body, with your soul, your heart, and then, as from there, I will get connected to the others, to the elements, to nature. And also, the huge difference is that all the teaching comes from nature. So it's a dance connected to nature, and you see a lot of this in nature. So to feel the nature inside of us, and so these are the main differences with Beyoncé.
Kiné, prof de yoga. Il a été formé en neurodanse et elle éprouve des difficultés à laisser aller le corps dans
It
le
was
mouvement.
also said that there are a lot of difficulties of letting your body go. Yes, I can understand this, but that is one of the main obstacles for the adult, but also sometimes for the children, because we had received such an education where the energy is put in the frontal lobes in your brain, and we cannot release all this. And it's difficult for the adults, especially, but also for some children who were cut off. And some the parents also push children to stand up faster and faster. But if you were cut off of all of this, if everything happened too soon, too fast, first, everything is not, of course, happening in the control tower, in the brain, in the head. So you have to go and look inside your body. You have to go to our tummy. Also, let's say, starting with our ara, our energy center. And then afterwards, it comes also, it will be extended to the mental element. So also what we felt, what is felt is also very important. Feeling your body, feeling your movement, your respiration, and afterwards, progressively, if you enter in the ara, and in letting the body move, not voluntary, but letting it move, well, progressively, the mental is also going to release, but it's a whole learning process, of course. Other questions?
Pour l'instant.
Bon, ah bah, je vais continuer. Alors, j'ai bien envie de
So I'd like to,
aller dans les petits exercices que je vais
before
vous proposer.
doing the exercises,
Déjà, je vais vous lire un petit texte ou deux d'Isadora Duncan,
I'm going to read a small text
de la danse.
of Isadora Duncan. Isadora Duncan, for those who doesn't know her, was a dancer,
danse au siècle dernier et qui a été la précurseur de la danse.
bring the dance on the previous century, and she based her movement, her dance on nature. She really wanted to have a natural movement. And I'm going to read a small text from Isadora, and at the same time, it's a small exercise that I would like you to do.
Alors ça, c'est Isadora qui parle et je vous dis à travers elle. C'est ici.
So it's Isadora Duncan speaking. So I have my heart on your heart, on your heart. Heart is where the inspiration is, and on the head, people from all backgrounds imitated my work, but they consider that it's only movements, stereotype movements, whereas in reality, it's the inspiration of the soul that is not communicable. So we are talking about the soul. So the secret is there. And I'd like you to put your hands on your heart, to close your eyes, to listen you breathing, and to hear your heart beating. You need to feel your spiritual
qui est
heart,
aussi le quatrième chakra,
called also the fourth chakra.
qui est là au centre de votre poitrine.
It's at the center
Et sentir ce cœur spirituel
of your breath, and you need to feel it like a flower.
Cette fleur est en bouton
And this flower,
et à chaque respiration,
each time you breathe,
sentir que votre fleur s'ouvre un peu plus,
is opening.
recevoir la lumière,
You receive the light, the sunlight,
la rosée du matin,
the dew, the morning
cette
dew.
fleur en s'ouvrant,
And
dégagez
this
un magnifique parfum
flower is providing
d'amour,
such a perfume,
d'amour pur, comme la fleur
a perfume of love.
qui offre
Such
sa beauté,
a flower is a gift offering all the beauty, the colors, the smell,
nous montre qu'en ouvrant notre cœur,
showing us that opening our heart,
nous relie à la source,
we can connect to the source, receive all this love,
cet amour de la source,
this love of the source.
on pourrait dire pour les enfants de Papa Soleil,
We can say for the children that's
l'amour
Daddy, Son.
recevoir comme une pluie de rosée dans notre cœur.
It's all about receiving everything in our heart.
Et que tout cet amour que je reçois dans mon cœur
And all this love
va nourrir mon enfant intérieur,
will nourish my inner child
lui apporter tout ce dont il a besoin.
and bring him all he needs.
Que en baignant maintenant dans cet amour, depuis mon
And
cœur,
with this love, with all my heart,
je vais pouvoir aussi, comme la fleur offre sa beauté, son parfum,
I will
au monde,
also be able to offer my beauty,
et là je vais vous laisser ouvrir tout
my
doucement
love,
vos bras,
and I will open slowly my heart
et en ouvrant
and
mes
my
bras,
arms, and opening my arms,
offrir mon
I will be
parfum,
able to
tout mon
offer
amour
the perfume, the love
aux fleurs autour de moi, à la
to
nature,
the other flowers surrounding me, to the nature,
aux
to the
animaux,
plants, the animals,
aux rivières,
to the rivers,
aux océans, aux montagnes,
to the oceans, to the mountains,
création.
and to the whole creation.
Et aussi maintenant en montant les bras vers le ciel,
And I will put my arms
aussi les étoiles au-dessus de moi,
vertically, and I will give all my love to the stars
et
in the sky.
que je suis peut-être juste une petite graine,
And maybe I'm only
je suis un enfant,
a seed
enfant, le seed
or
de mon enfant
a
intérieur.
small child, my
Et
inner
en même
child,
temps, j'ai tout ça à l'intérieur,
but at the same time, I have
toute cette
all
création,
this
toutes ces étoiles,
in me. I have all the creativity, the stars,
et danser.
and I can give that.
Et en remettant à nouveau les mains sur le cœur,
And I will put my hands on my heart.
sentir toute cette joie, toute cette gratitude
I will feel all this joy,
de pouvoir avoir un corps,
this gratitude to have a
ce
body,
corps de pouvoir danser,
and
et
with this
danser
body to be able to dance for the creativity,
qui est à l'intérieur de moi.
with all this energy
Toute cette
in me,
toute cette création.
with all the
Et
universe.
en dansant,
And
offrir
dancing,
ma créativité,
offering my creativity,
je fais un don aussi
I am
à la,
offering
à la création,
all
à l'univers.
this gift to the creation, to the universe,
Et je
And
Et en sentant cette gratitude,
and I give thanks.
toute cette nature,
And I thank
tout l'univers.
the nature, the creativity, the universe.
Tout doucement, on va ouvrir nos petits yeux.
And so we'll slowly open our eyes. I feel all the inner child, all the inner children.
Et sentir que vraiment on est connecté, on est vraiment
And
interconnecté.
we are all interconnected.
Voilà, vous avez envie de continuer l'expérience?
Do you want to continue the experience?
Merci.
Thank you for your comments.
Je sens là, vous sentez le corps.
I can feel all the energy.
Cette dimension qui est magnifique en fait.
I felt all this dimension that's extraordinary. We go beyond our physical body. And when we go beyond that, we figure out that we are all connected. And that's the key I give to the children and to the adults. The key is in our hearts, or in our hearts. If we open our hearts, then we have the key. And dancing is an expression. It's the expression of all this creation. And it's simply to honor the creation. That's what we're doing, our ancestors. So during my last session, during my last e-move session, we had an extraordinary experience. We were all full of joy, and this joy was our state of being. Joy is the emotion of the present. When we are living, we are full of joy, and if we can bring all this joy to the children, then that our goal is reached. And so that's my objective, to give all this joy to the children, because they will then transmit, convey this joy again. And that's all about that. So here is it. So now I'm going to present you the 5 elements. So I'll try to put some music. I'm not good at technology, but I'll try. And then you'll tell me if you can hear the music and me at the same time.
Son d'ordinateur, partager, et je vais mettre la musique, et hop, voilà. Alors là, j'ai mis la musique, oui. Vous m'entendez?
Can you hear me? Yes, okay, yes, you can hear me.
Merci, merci.
Thank you.
Alors, écoutez, on va commencer.
So we'll begin.
Si vous êtes assis, vous pouvez rester
So
assis, mais le mieux, c'est de vous
if you are seated, you can remain seated, and if you want, you can also stand up.
donc à vous mettre debout.
So please stand up.
Alors, ça va? Vous voyez la musique aussi, vous m'entendez?
Can you hear me?
Ah, pas loin. Je suis un peu loin. Hein? Ouais. Alors, je vais rester
Okay,
près de...
I will stay close to the computer so that she can hear me, right? Okay.
Bon, ben, je vais danser assise, hein. Je vais être obligée si je veux près de l'ordinateur. Mais vous pouvez vous mettre-
Okay, I'll need to remain seated because otherwise it won't work.
Vous allez voir, c'est très simple. Alors, comme tout à l'heure, eh ben, écoutez, je vais vous inviter à nouveau à fermer les yeux parce qu'on
So please close your eyes
va aller contacter notre enfant intérieur.
and we'll try to connect with our inner child.
Voilà, donc vous allez mettre à nouveau les mains sur les yeux. Une main
So
sur le
please put your hand on your heart
ventre,
and then on your belly.
une main sur le ventre.
Hands on your belly.
Et là, ben, je vais vous inviter à laisser venir votre enfant intérieur à qui je vais
And
parler.
then I will speak to your inner child and you have to let it go.
Imaginez que vous avez des petits boutons magiques sur votre
So you should imagine that you have magic buttons named chakra.
voilà, différemment. Et quand on met la main sur le petit bouton magique,
And when you push on the magic button,
il va ouvrir votre cœur.
this will open your heart.
Plein d'amour.
Sorry, the sound is very bad.
Et maintenant, on va mettre les mains
And
sur le ventre.
now you have one hand on your heart and the other one on your belly.
Ça s'appelle le aha. Alors le aha,
And the aha
un petit bouton magique qui lui
is a magic button
très très fort.
allowing to feel very, very strong, allowing us to feel very strong.
Mettons les deux mains là.
And then we have both of the hands on the belly. You are breathing deeply,
Que notre bouton magique s'ouvre très très fort vers la terre.
and you imagine that you're connected to Earth.
Plein d'énergie de
You feel all this energy.
Maintenant, je vais imaginer que je suis une petite graine.
And now I can imagine that I am a seed. And I am a seed full of energy.
Devenir un magnifique arbre.
And I will become a wonderful tree.
Oui. Est-ce que tu m'entends mieux? Voilà.
Can you hear me better this way? Okay.
Cette petite graine dans la terre va vraiment
And this small seed will develop with all the strength, all the energy coming from the heart, the earth.
Et donc,
And
vous pouvez descendre vers la terre.
you can
Et en descendant vers la terre,
you can orient yourself towards the soil, and
comme une petite graine.
you can imitate the seed.
Petite graine, toujours en restant bien avec votre bouton magique.
You
du
can
arbre.
huddle as a seed, and you
Et
can
là, vous allez
connect
commencer
to earth, and then you will begin to develop
à pousser vos racines et petit à petit, en
with the roots.
dans la terre,
You put the roots
vous allez commencer à laisser monter votre arbre
on the earth, and then you will develop progressively.
vers la terre. Mais d'abord, en sentant bien vos racines.
So you feel the roots. The roots need to be well anchored
Et là, petit à petit,
on earth,
poussant la terre.
and then progressively you will push your head as the tree is developing, and you have to focus. You have to channel all this energy, all the strength, and progressively you will stay up and develop.
Petit à petit, vous arrivez vers ça. À nouveau. Comme la graine, petit à petit, vous pouvez racines dans la terre, montez.
So you put the roots well anchored on earth, and then you develop progressively.
Avec vos branches que vous pouvez laisser s'ouvrir, se déployer votre cœur. Et on ouvre vos branches, votre tronc. Sentez maintenant votre arbre bien enraciné par vos pieds dans la terre.
And now we have a beautiful tree developing.
Et en déployant vos branches,
With all,
vous allez commencer maintenant à laisser pousser vos feuilles, vos fruits.
with all the branches, the fruits, the flowers, and the leaves on your branches.
À sentir que vous avez vraiment
You have to feel that you have fruits at the end of your arms, and these fruits
et maintenant sentir les fruits au bout de vos doigts.
you feel them at the end of your fingers,
Et on va revenir tout doucement, ramener
and
maintenant ces fruits dans notre cœur.
progressively we'll collect all these fruits and put them all in our heart, all the fruits in our heart.
Les beaux fruits qu'on a pu créer avec notre art.
All these fruits
On va les
are
offrir
connected to our soul, and we are going to give them to the earth.
On va offrir nos fruits qui vont aussi nourrir la terre. Et sentir
We're
que
going to offer all these fruits to the earth and around us.
la terre. Et on va donner tous ces fruits et à la terre. Avec tout et sentir que vous êtes cet arbre.
You have to feel all this energy of the tree,
Et le ciel
the earth,
et relever
and progressively we'll all come back.
et un arbre qui offre des fruits magnifiques.
Collect all the fruits, put them in your heart, give them to the earth,
Je donnerai les fruits. Et remercier aussi toutes les arbres de la terre. Dans notre cœur. Et remercier de notre cœur tous les arbres de notre cœur. Remercier depuis notre cœur tous les arbres de la terre
And we thank all the trees on earth.
qui sont nos frères.
They are our brothers and sisters.
Et doucement, on commence.
And progressively we'll stand up
Toute force qui nous donne toute cette nourriture dont j'ai besoin.
Now we have all the strength, all the food we need.
Donne toute cette force de vie et cette nourriture. Et la remercie.
And I will thank nature, Mother Nature, for giving me all that.
Et tout doucement, finir notre
And progressively we'll finish our movement and we'll thank Mother Earth, all the trees, and the nature.
merci.
Thank you.
Alors, j'ai envie de continuer.
So I'd like to go on. Is it okay for you?
Mhm. Alors, on va continuer.
Then we'll go on
Et notre sœur
and
l'eau,
we'll go and visit our
notre sœur.
water sister,
Alors,
our sister the
qu'elle va
water.
nous dire.
So what is she going to tell us?
Oui, merci Caroline. Notre sœur l'eau, notre sœur. Voilà.
Our sister the water. So please put both of your hands on your belly.
Respirez encore avec votre
Please
petit-
breathe deeply,
Voilà, qui nous amène toute l'énergie,
and you can feel all the energy you need.
On va aller visiter notre sœur l'eau
And we'll visit our sister, the water.
sur la terre, partout avec les rivières.
That is, the water is everywhere on earth, in the rivers,
Et on va commencer avec notre
in the
bassin.
oceans, and we'll begin
Avec notre bassin.
to make movement
On va faire des grands huit
with
bassins, des boucles. En faisant ces grands huit avec ce bassin,
our basin,
sentir qu'on se laisse bercer par les vagues, comme si on
and we have the impression we are doing the movement of waves,
Voilà. Et on se laisse balancer
We're
par ces vagues.
imitating the movement of waves from one side to another
Dans un flux, dans un reflux.
in a flow,
Et je me laisse
in a
bercer
smooth flow,
jusqu'à ce que ça se fasse tout seul. Voilà, je n'ai même plus rien à faire qu'à me laisser bercer. Et je me balance d'un côté.
you have to let yourself be gently rocked by the waves.
Et je sens que c'est facile, c'est fluide.
Everything is smooth
En me laissant balancer d'un côté de l'autre.
from one side to the other, and with the waves.
Accueillir ma sœur l'eau
I welcome my sister, the water,
est fluide.
as the river
Petit à petit, laisser
with all the
sortir le
flexes,
fluide
and I will let my body go
du bassin.
with my basin,
Les bras, les jambes. Tire comme des rivières.
my legs,
On tire
my back. The whole body is fluid, and I let it go.
Comme les ondes glaces comme les vagues, que je laisse aller dans les bras, dans mon dos, dans mes jambes. Petit à petit, tout mon corps rentre dans l'eau.
And so, progressively, I am entering into the water, into the waves.
Tout mon corps devient fluide.
Everything is fluid. My whole body is fluid, and I thank my sister, the water, for bringing me all this fluidity. And if there is a rock, then I will pass by and I will continue as the river is doing, going through all obstacles.
Et c'est comme dans la vie. S'il y a un obstacle,
as in life, if you meet an obstacle, you have to do as the water. You have to find the easiest way to pass by, and you have to be as free as the water, and you have to continue to keep on going. All my body is as a river, dancing.
Et je peux confier aussi à toute cette eau.
And this water is purifying everything. It purifies everything, all the emotions. Maybe I'm sad. Maybe I have fears. And I can speak to my sister, the water, and in my dance, I feel that the water is putting away all these fears and detoxing me of all my fears, my emotions, my sadness, my anger. I give all these emotions to the water, and the water will take away all these emotions and will purify them. I am as fluid as the water.
Que je suis nettoyée, purifiée.
I am detoxified, purified.
Que j'avais besoin de me nettoyer, de me purifier.
Because I needed detox, I needed to be purified.
Et puis, tout doucement.
And slowly, progressively, as the water, as the river is reaching the ocean, now I'm going to enter the ocean. As a small wave in the whole ocean.
Et là, sentir que je suis vraiment portée par la grande mer.
And I am in the ocean. I am a small wave among all the other waves of the ocean.
Je fais un avec tout cet océan. Je peux me laisser porter.
I am in the ocean and I trust the ocean. I can let it all go. I feel the ocean. I feel all the waves. And with all my dance, all my movements,
Me confier à cet océan
I can trust the ocean.
et sentir cette confiance que je fais un
And I feel the unity
avec
with the ocean
qui m'entoure.
surrounding me.
Et puis, à nouveau, tout doucement,
And progressively, I'm going to slow my movement.
et comme la vague
And as the wave is coming, is arriving on the beach, I'm going to do the same. I will reach the beach progressively. So I won't ask you to lay down on the ground, but you can imagine that as a wave you lay down on the beach, and you will slowly stop your movement.
Même quand le mouvement s'arrête,
And even when the movement stops, the wave is still there, carrying you away. Even if you don't move, there is always this wave that is carrying me. And now I'm going to thank my sister, the water. Thank you, all the rivers. Thank the ocean. Thank the sea. And all that they bring to me, this fluidity, all this detox, because I need to purify some things, I need to regenerate. And for that, I thank the water.
Alors, simplement, alors voilà. Est-ce que vous m'entendez?
Can you hear me? Yes, and please, could you switch on your video? I switched it off for us to hear you. Fabienne, when you put music, please switch off your video, because with the sound and the music, it's hard. I hope you could hear me. Yes, 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 we could. Okay, thank you. So time was flying as usual when we enter in this universe of dance movement, and now it's 5:45. I wanted to present you the other elements, but today we visited Mother Earth and the water, so that's good. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Séverine. Thank you, Rosella. Thank you, Abel. And I will leave some time to hear your feedback. If you want to share something, please do so.
Voilà, de danse avec les éléments. Voilà.
Et il y a plein de témoignages.
There are a lot of comments. No, I can't see them. It was extraordinary. I am full of serenity. My body was feeling so well. Thank you so much. Great. A huge space just opened now, and I want to explore it. Wow, that's great.
Voilà, il y a plein de merci, plein de thank you, merci. Très envie de faire une formation e-move.
Eh bien, bienvenue en tout cas.
Et Caroline dit qu'elle a nagé avec un dauphin.
And Caroline said, I swam with a dolphin. But I really feel the inner children. And I really feel this connection with the inner child. And you need to be connected with yourself, to be connected with the nature. And it is simple. At the end of the day, you just have to let things go. Everything is in your body.
Merci en tout cas pour vos témoignages.
Thank you for all the comments. I can see a question. Which are the three other elements? So now we visited the water and Mother Earth, and the other elements are the fire. So with e-move and in my dance, I will always begin with the Mother Earth and then with water. After, you will see the fire. The fire is still visible, and the fire is the link between what is tangible and the rest. After, you will have the air, and then you will have the lands.
En Inde, on dit c'est la respiration des dieux, c'est-à-dire les terres.
Earth is the respiration of God. That's the energy, that's the pneuma. And it's the energy that is everywhere, allowing us to live. So all the earth is containing all the elements, and this is the last dance that will allow us to reach this level of energy.
Voilà. Merci beaucoup, Fabienne.
Thank you, Fabienne. And gardening allows me to connect to Mother Earth. Yes. This is a really nice metaphor, Caroline. Yes, because you can connect to nature thanks to gardening. I do it through dancing, but you can do it through gardening, of course. And I hope that you enjoyed these moments and that your experience was great. That's what I feel with the children. I really want to convey this message to a maximum of children, as many children as possible, because we progressively are changing our children. We are transforming them into machines, and we need to fight this tendency. A child that is not in movement is a child that is losing his or her soul, his or her energy, his or her creativity. And so I encourage you all to dance and to spread it around you. And I wanted to share a video, but for those who want, you can go on the website, La Danse de l'Être. And to conclude, I wanted to say that e-move is also a learning about reading, mathematics, Vicky was talking about visualizing one's preferred figure in order to overcome the challenges. There can be obstacles in writing, in geometrics. We can also challenge geometrics through the dance, through the movement of the body. So it's a school. It's a real school because we are teaching through arts, as we did it before. Thank you, Abel. Thank you all.